City of Stevens Point Plan Commission meeting, recorded November 3, 2025.
It is 6 o'clock, and I will call the City Plan Commission meeting to order. Mr. Kuhn, could we get a roll call, please?
Wiesa is excused. Kneebone?
Here.
Arnson? Here. Beacom? Here. Rice? Here. And Schuler? Here.
And we are good. We've got a quorum. So, item number 2, report of the October 6th, October 8th, and October 21st, 2025 meetings of the City Plan Commission.
I saw that, yes. With the white Red Sox, yes.
Let's see. Any comments, questions?
I guess I'm sorry I didn't get Sam Malone's autograph while I was here.
Sorry?
Sam Malone of Red Sox and Cheers was on the sign-in sheet, and I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to greet.
Okay, so do we need to approve that?
Yeah, we do.
I mean, is that one of those things sometimes you don't need to?
I make a motion to approve all the minutes.
Second?
From all 3 meetings.
That was Jeff, you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Any other comments from the floor? On Zoom, anybody online tonight? So, hearing none, we'll have a vote. Those in favor would say aye. Aye. Opposed would be no. Hearing none, that is passed. Item number 3, public hearing and action on a request from Dustin Haugen for a conditional use permit to construct an accessory structure on the property located at 1208 Wisconsin Street, parcel ID 28124-08324-00814, utilizing R-TND, the Traditional Neighborhood Overlay District setback requirements, consistent with Chapter 23.02, paren 1, paren H, paren 3.
All right, so this has been a similar request that this commission have reviewed over the years. Essentially, in the older, more established parts of the city, that being areas around downtown, essentially, they're located within this traditional neighborhood overlay district that allows for lesser setbacks both for primary structures and for accessory structures. The intention behind this is these lots are generally smaller, more compact, and it's harder to perform improvements onto the property while meeting your, quote, traditional types of setback requirements. So this request is to construct an accessory structure seeking a 1-foot side and rear yard setback. This structure would be located on the far northwest corner of the property, so kind of where my cursor is right now, terminating off of an existing driveway. As evident in the staff report, and I'll attest to it by walking on the site, seeing it with my own 2 eyes. It is a very small lot. It's just north of 3,500 square feet. Really the biggest structure that could be built there is a 1-stall garage, and that's even meeting all the applicable fire-rated wall requirements through the Universal Dwelling Code. So there's definitely, in my opinion, a need because there wouldn't be able to the applicant wouldn't be able to construct really any accessory structure based off of the current setbacks in play. So again, this request is to ask for the 1-foot side and rear yard setback requirement. Conditions are on the bottom of page 11, but pretty self-explanatory. So staff would recommend approval.
Questions or a motion?
Is there a public hearing? Is that?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. So it is a public hearing, so the public hearing is now open. Anybody that would like to make a comment, just come up to the podium over there, state your name and address, and let us know what you think. Okay, public hearing is still open. And third time, public hearing is still open. Hearing no one wishing to comment, we'll call the public hearing closed, and now we'll have questions or a motion. Thank you for pointing that out.
A quick question. Is the graphic that's in the staff report generally representative of what they are looking to build?
Correct.
Really nice. Thank you.
I move to approve per staff
Motion
recommendations.
by Arnson. Second by Rice. Comments, any other comments or questions from the commission? From the audience? Okay, we have a motion. Those in favor would answer aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed would be no. Hearing none, motion carries, and that is approved. Item number 4, public hearing and action on a request from Thomas Bushman for a conditional use permit to operate a single-family residence on the property located at 2877 Church Street, Parcel ID 281-230-805-101713, consistent with Chapter 2302, paren 2, paren A, paren 3, paren D. So, public hearing is now open.
I can probably add a quick background.
Oh, okay.
Get too carried away. So the applicant is looking to perform an interior renovation of the existing structure located on the subject property, 2877 Church Street. As part of this renovation, it would include reducing the amount of housing units that's currently located in there to the one that's being proposed. There is an existing commercial office type use, an office space located on the main level. That's proposed to remain. Nothing's being altered as part of that. This is really stemming from a few weeks now of conversations that the applicant has had with our building inspection staff in order to meet applicable building code requirements. So this property, this is a similar request that we've had along this corridor maybe 2 years ago now, but this property is along Church Street, along a commercial corridor, and because of that, this property is zoned B4 commercial. The office type use that exists there right now is permitted by right. However, the creation of this one residential unit would require this conditional use permit. Again, as I mentioned, the applicant has been working with our building inspection staff, so all of the building code requirements as part of creating this additional unit would be met as part of granting this conditional use permit. So staff would recommend approval, and I know the applicant's here in the back. Should there be any questions?
Questions before the public hearing? Okay.
I guess maybe just one quick one. Would there be, is there intent or would there be a requirement for the tenant and like the office occupant to be the same person? Or
There's not a requirement.
There's not a requirement for that.
Okay. Public hearing is now open. Public hearing is open. I think this is where the mayor says we're required by statute to say it 3 times. Public hearing is open. Okay, seeing no one or hearing no one with comments, we'll close the public hearing, bring it back to the commission for questions or a motion. Commissioner Schuler.
Quick question again. Is there a limit to how many residential units can be in this structure? Is it limited to one, or can there be others if the space allows?
Technically, there could be, I believe, one more based off of density restrictions, but I know that creates some added requirements from a building code standpoint, so that's really meant to, the decision to have one is really to skirt some of those additional costs.
Thank you. I'll move to approve, subject to the conditions listed in the staff report.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, second from Arnson. Any other questions from anybody? Okay, got a motion on the floor. Those in favor would say aye.
Aye.
Opposed would be no. Hearing none, that passes. And we move on to item number 5. Public hearing and action on a request from Jim Lundberg representing Point Crossing LLC for a conditional use permit to construct multiple multifamily residential buildings on an unaddressed parcel bounded by Songbird Lane, parcel ID number 281-240-836-220-063, consistent with Chapter 23.01, paren 14, paren F, and Chapter 2302, paren 1, paren F, paren 3, paren B. Mr. Kuhn.
All right, so just for context, for the subject property, it's located just west of Parkdale Park, just west of Badger Avenue, and on the north side of Highway 10. So the applicant's requesting to construct 9 fourplexes on the property. Now let's just pull up the site plan. So 9 fourplexes scattered, dispersed more proportionally along the property, along with 2 garage complexes. They'll each have 6 parking stalls in total. This will be these 2 buildings where my cursor is. So each of these housing units within each of the buildings, there'll be 1 housing unit, attached garage on the main level, and walkout patio on the on its rear, and then the living unit, the living quarters, the bedrooms, bathrooms would be located on the second level. Image on the right-hand side of the screen, you can see more of the general mock-up of what the design of these fourplexes will look like. This will be a multi-phase development starting from Windy Drive working northward. I believe it'll be split into 3 different phases, starting potentially as early as next year. There's been, customary with any of these development proposals, there's been a lot of review that's taken place with applicable departments over the last few weeks, and that's pretty evident by the conditions that are located on staff's recommendation to approve. So why is this needed? There's a few reasons why this request has to be brought before you. First, starting with the conditional use permit. There's the need for the multifamily land use. That land use proposal requires a conditional use permit along with having more than 1 primary structure on the same parcel. And then the site plan review, that's because of this property being zoned B5 highway commercial. Any new development requires that site plan review, really making sure that traffic generation, traffic flow in and out of the site and within the broader context of the Highway 10 corridor is being adequately reviewed as part of any proposed development. So starting with the conditional use permit, staff has recommended approval, again, subject to those 9 conditions shown on the top of page 30.
Questions before we go to public hearing? Okay. Public hearing is now open. Public hearing is open. Public hearing is open. Okay, seeing no one wishing to comment, we'll close the public hearing and bring it back to the commission. Questions, comments, or a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve with staff recommendations.
Second?
Okay. This is my district and my neighborhood. One of the concerns I have is for to maintain the pond, not get too much encroachment on that little pond that's right on Badger there. And looking at the plan, looks like the 2 garages will be on Songbird, is that correct?
Correct, yeah, that'd be these 2.
So the people across the street now will be looking at the backs of those garages. Could we get some landscaping back there so they don't have to?
Yeah, there is the landscaping plan. I know there's a bunch of street trees. So on page 53, you can very faint here.
Oh, okay.
You can barely
okay.
faint. I can't expect them to be that size.
Good deal.
Yeah, right in the back.
Great. And I know that's parts of that area are maybe wet, so be cautious of wetland stuff. But it's very consistent with what's there. I think it's a great addition to the neighborhood.
I'll just add real quick with the wetland component of it. There has been a delineation, and you can faintly see it where my cursor is. That's really where my cursor is circling. That's the one area where they have denoted as wetlands.
Okay,
Otherwise, everything else, at least according to the report, is.
sounds good. Any, Commissioner Schuler?
Well, I'm very much in favor of the project, but I have a couple general questions. When you look at a project like this, how is the density calculated for a lot like this and the number of units?
Yeah, so this is one of many pitfalls of our zoning code. So B5 Highway Commercial District, there's a minimum lot size of 35,000 square feet. It does not differentiate, it doesn't add a lot size minimum based off of housing units. So it's a long way of saying you could have 2 units proposed, you could have 100 units proposed. Because it meets the minimum lot size requirement of 35,000, it's A-okay.
Okay, then, we don't have any general site development requirements for minimum amount of open space for multifamily units like this, do we?
No, we don't.
Okay. Is that something that we're looking at as a part of the zoning rewrite?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I was also wondering what the slope is coming out of the patio doors on the pond units. I know it's got a 30-foot setback.
Yeah, that's
But
something
I wasn't really good with the topo lines to figure out just.
if I can faintly see it. We'll just have you go up to the.
You have to come up, name and address for the record.
Jim Lundberg with Point of Beginning. I'm the civil engineer on the project. So the slope off of the backs of it would be the ones that are northwest of the pond, would be about a 4-to-1
Okay.
slope coming off of that.
So they don't have to repel.
No.
Okay.
Yep.
And the pond itself is not part of this development, right?
Correct, it's its own separate parcel.
Okay. And will there be any type of restriction from access to the pond, or is it just a neighbor aesthetic feature of the development, or is there any ability for any of these folks to do anything with the pond?
At least in terms of city regulations, there's no prohibition unless there's any private agreements that if you folks are aware of.
Not that we're aware of.
It's kind of hard to access just because there's a lot of shrubby growth around the
Well, there'll be grading
perimeter, so-
involved with the project too that I assume will, well, maybe it'll all stay the same, but that's why I was curious about that. And any idea on the eventual timeline for the phasing? I know it's still in development and with no timeline set yet.
That's probably over a 3-year period.
Okay. The layout of the units is nice.
Thank you.
Is the pond a natural pond, or is that a stormwater pond?
As far as I know, it's natural.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was constructed for a bunch of work over there, but no?
The historical aerials that were in the wetland delineation showed it for as far back as the report showed.
All right, good.
Any other questions?
No, it seems like emergency services are clear in terms of access both ends.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, there is the one condition on there, since it will be a phased development, the internal driveway will terminate into a temporary gravel turnaround, and our fire marshal has already looked at that.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, we have a motion and a second. We'll call the vote. Those in favor would say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed would be no. Hearing none, motion carries, and that is approved. And I lost my agenda here. There we go. Item number 6. Request from Jim Lundberg, representing Point Crossing LLC, for a site plan review to construct multiple multifamily residential buildings on an unaddressed parcel bounded by Songbird Lane. Parcel number has already been referenced, consistent with Chapter 23.02, paren 2, paren E, paren 5. Comments or questions or questions? Well, first,
Yeah, I don't have anything further. I explained it all during the last time.
basically,
So,
any questions or a motion?
Well, I think I had one question looking at it. I see all the residential structures have a garage, and then they're building a separate garage. Is that storage or just, how does that work out to be? Not that I disagree, but just wondering.
yeah, I mean, I'll defer to you, Seth. I'll defer to you if you want to talk about that.
It's just if somebody wants to.
My name is Seth Horning. I live at 152179 Greenview Drive in Mosinee, Wisconsin. The secondary garage space is just for some of the residents. You know, sometimes they need more than just a single stall is what we're seeing, so it's just more overflow for them. We have plans to use one of the units for ourselves just for maintenance and things like that. The rest of them will all only be for the occupants or the other tenants. We're not going to rent it out separately or anything like that, so.
All right, good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments or a motion?
Question for staff. The original motion in the staff report was to approve both the conditional use and the site review.
Correct.
And so I assume that there were conditions in there that applied to both?
Yeah, I mean, since
And we've already approved it with those conditions.
Yeah, since both items are, you know, a development-specific request and not necessarily just a land use request, I put the conditions, kind of coupled it all together. Since you apply the conditions on the CUP, you wouldn't need to for the site plan review.
Can our previous vote count as the vote for this as well, seeing as it would only be redundant?
Since it's two separate items on the agenda,
Okay.
it would have to be.
I move to approve the site review with the conditions listed in the staff report.
Okay,
Second.
motion
Yep.
and a second.
Yep.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? Anybody in the audience? Okay. Have a motion on the floor. We'll take that to a vote. Those in favor would be aye. Aye. Opposed would be no. And that passes. Next item. Zoning code rewrite. First review of draft general provisions.
All right, this is going to be the most riveting part of all the sections you'll be reviewing to come. All right, so general provisions. So included on page 63 to 64 is what's existing in our code, and then page 65 through 68 is the amended text from what's existing. I'll just say point blank, what's included in the proposed changes, the redlined items, that's not necessarily going to be all that'll make up the general provisions section. That section's also likely to include your ordinances pertaining to shoreline zoning, wetlands, floodplain zoning. Obviously, that'll be looked at a later date, but just wanted to state that from the jump, is that all items included on page 65 to 68 of the packet, that's not the full extent of what this general provisions section will be. So just walking through the section real quick. So title page, so this is starting on page 65 if you folks are following along. So this title subsection, really the only change here is that you're including the effective date. So this would be when this new zoning code is ultimately adopted, having that explicitly referenced, since that will be key for any existing legal nonconforming uses or structures at that time. Item number 2 is the zoning map, and this is actually something that's missing in our current zoning code, and it's kind of for some reason an afterthought, but or was an afterthought back in the original creation of our code. And that's basically saying that, hey, we as a city are adopting a zoning map designating zoning classifications for every property here in the city, and it's the job of the zoning administrator to apply that zoning map into all the development rules that exist within the zoning code. Pretty straightforward. Item number 3, the authority and applicability. This is basically the section saying, hey, why do we as a city have the authority to regulate land use and development? So sub A is outlining the specific statutes of note. Sub B is talking about when there's a change in state law or in federal law, that change will then be represented in this new code. Just trying to be cognizant because there will be changes in state and federal law over the years and decades to come. Item number sub 3, talking about that kind of self-explanatory, all land within the city is subject to our zoning code. And then the last one, sub 4, formatting's a little wonky here. Basically what this is saying is that this zoning code will apply to every land here in the city unless otherwise stated, unless otherwise allowed by the state of Wisconsin. Really the example here is state-owned property like the university. There are limitations in terms of a municipality's ability to apply that zoning code towards land improvements on a state-owned property. Severability, nothing's really changing there from what's existing, just formatting it differently. Page 66, the purpose and intent statement, we reviewed that last time that we met, so this is replicating what we talked about last time into here. Page 67, more just a few grammatical tweaks for item number 6, the interpretation, greater restrictions, and abrogation. Hopefully I pronunciated that right. Item number 7, and this is probably, I guess, what I would best describe as the no-duh type of no-duh section of our code, and that's saying when we're referencing certain words in the code, this is what it actually means. So city is the city, county is Portage County, all the way down, shall, will, must is mandatory, may, might, can are permissive. Again, it's a little silly including it, but you have to because that time will come, unfortunately, sooner rather than later. And then the last one, the abbreviation section, this is something that will be updated as we go. This is basically just common terms that's going to be abbreviated, that's referenced here, and explaining this true meaning right at the jump. So I know I kind of just went through this quickly. Any questions, comments, issues that you see?
I'm assuming this will be the easiest part of the zoning review?
I would suspect. And I'll just add, I know I said last time that I wasn't going to have anything on this November meeting. This is more so, the main reason I'm having it on this November meeting is that we don't have to have a special meeting later on this month. So we will not be meeting again, at least for zoning code stuff.
So P and C, huh?
Yes, I'm going to have the land use table.
That. Okay.
Because how it's currently structured is not great.
Okay.
So.
Well, I think we talked before about using the general provisions to provide some sort of a basic outline for things involved in a development review. Will that be part of the subsequent?
Yeah, the review standards, I plan on including all within the section.
Great, thank you.
Anything else? Any issues, or are you generally comfortable with what is shown?
No.
That's good.
Box checked.
One down, dozens more to go.
So,
Frowny emoji. All right.
and we don't have to take any action on that tonight. Number 8, a request from Wisconsin Public Service for a utility easement along Water Street. Mr. Kuhn, or Director Kivula,
I'm going to pass it to Chris.
or Mr. Kalismith.
Sure. So apologies that there's no memo included in the packet, but some background information regarding the request for this easement along Water Street. The purpose for this easement is to relocate some overhead power lines that currently traverse the former Edgewater Manor parcel, as well as the 1466 Water Street to the south, to relocate those power lines to expedite redevelopment of those parcels. So Wisconsin Public Service is seeking a 12-foot easement to the southern portion of the property, and then a 10-foot easement And staff recommendation is to approve the easement as requested. We've had this discussed with Director Badoon and don't see any issues with the underground easement as presented.
Questions?
So have no impact on the path, right?
No, this won't have any impact on the Green Circle Trail.
Perfect, thanks.
From the audience, questions? Anybody else, or a motion?
I move to approve the request to grant the easement.
That's not a very thin limb. I'll second.
Any other comments or questions? One more time, anybody from the audience? Okay, we have a motion on the floor to approve. Those in favor would say aye. Aye. Opposed would be no. Hearing none, that passes, and that's approved. Item number 9, a request from Green Tree Companies to purchase lots 29 and 30 in the Forest Creek Subdivision and combine them for the purpose of constructing a single-family home.
I will take this one.
Director Kibble.
Thank you. So in the memo, kind of outlined a few more of the details here, but just a quick overview and I guess a comment to theoretically, this does not require Plan Commission or Council approval to do so. We're bringing this forward as this is a subdivision that we did create and more just a courtesy to bring forward the situation. And if Plan Commission and Council are adamantly against it, then we would direct the developer in a different direction. Otherwise, if everybody was okay with it, we'd have them proceed. So Green Tree Companies is the developer that's been developing out in Forest Creek, I guess the majority of all the lots to this point. Others have purchased lots, but they have not started developing. So all the homes currently out there are Green Tree homes. They recently submitted an offer to purchase for 2 of the lots, lots 29 and 30. I did include the subdivision plat in the packet for your reference. So if you are looking for those are more on the right-hand side of the plat, and they're the two of the small ones in that grouping of 4. So they have requested to purchase both of those lots, and they would like to have them combined for the purpose of building a single-family home. They, as a developer, do not typically build duplexes or zero lot lines. That's just not their area of expertise. They also evaluated that corner lot for a single-family home, and given the setbacks, it would actually not currently meet our zoning code. It would only be a 805 square foot home based on the setback calculations that we have. So really what would need to happen with these 2 lots is they would need to be a zero lot line or combined as a duplex or combined as a single family. So there's really only a few options that can happen, and this developer is looking to combine them into single family. So if directed by the Plan Commission and Council that is okay, we would proceed with the land sale. If it is not, we would decline the offer and look to have them purchase a different lot.
Just maybe more curious, the neighborhood was interested in fewer lots. The city needed more lots based on future infrastructure costs for tax base. So when we're combining them, how does that affect that strategy? And also, it appears that there are other lots that size, so why combine these 2?
Yeah, so I guess in terms of the tax base, so I mean, looking long term, it will have an impact as it won't have as many lots bringing in that tax base. I will say it won't be that substantial of a difference because it is still going to be developed on. The 2 parcels themselves, even though combined, will still have a tax base on the land and the building. So it won't be anything substantial. To note, in terms of the other lots, so this developer did build 2 small single-family homes on lots 27 and 28, which are right next to these 2. So those 2 are already developed with 2 smaller homes. The problem they were running into is they were going to buy lots 29 and 30 and build single-family homes on them, but that lot 30 can't support a single-family home. So the request was just to buy both, combine them, build a single-family home. On the other side, you'll see some other smaller lots. They have also built a single-family home on Lot 15, and then a developer looking to do, they were going back and forth on duplexes versus zero lot lines. They have not submitted a permit yet, so unsure as what they're going to decide on, but they have purchased 6 of those lots as well. So there are 3 more lots total, 48, 47, and 56. I'm sorry, 55 was the one they purchased. That could still be developed. So I will say one issue we're going to have on Lot 56, I guess is the same issue we're running into right now. So that could be a problem in the future. But, so, just looking for direction, I guess, from the Plan Commission. We'll, again, take this to council as well as the courtesy, but really the 2 options that are present would be to maintain the lots as separate parcels for this, or for right now, and encourage a zero lot line, or only agree to combine them for the purpose of a duplex. Or we can approve the offer that's in front of us now, combine them, and have them be a single family.
I think for just my thoughts, if they already have 27, 28, then that's fine. And I say all the time, I'm not going to say no to anything that's single-family home being built. I am concerned, you pointed out 56. If you get to the point where you have zero lot line mixed in with single-family, that's not going to look good. So at some point, staff has to make that decision on, where you need the consistency and where you offer the flexibility. But I'm in favor of it because, we're trying to get things built there, so.
Kind of a random question is, 56 will have to be filled to match the adjacent property that's built on, won't it?
We're actually thinking it'll be dug out. No, it'll need to be filled, yes.
Yeah.
It is quite a bit lower than
Yeah.
the adjacent lot next to it.
Not germane, but I was out there today and I was just kind of curious. So I guess the logic of the answer says that the questions that Commissioner Beacom raised aren't a negative toward approving the combination. Can you think of anything else that is even remotely a downside to this? Because it seems like a fairly positive development, but is there anything else?
Downside, you would, if you encouraged a zero lot line or a duplex, you'd have an additional housing unit on those 2 parcels. If you approve this now, it would just be a single housing unit. So you do reduce your possible housing units on the whole development by 1. But given the amount we have in there, I don't see that as a huge.
And we're at 25 lots out of 60 under contract or sold, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I'll move to approve the combination.
Just going to say, any more comments or motion?
Second.
Okay. Anybody? Oh. Alder Christensen.
Mark Christensen, 1641 Clark Street. My only question is, will this set any kind of legal precedent for the rest of the development if you've approved combining 2 lots for a single, even though one could conceivably, it'd be small, but it's been done? Are we setting ourselves any type of a legal precedent so 2 of the larger lots, if somebody wanted to, could buy them, combine them, and build a single one? Which kind of defeats the purpose of having the density that we had in order to achieve the tax base we were looking for to pay for the future infrastructure.
Happy to answer. I would say no, because of the unique circumstance with these 2 small lots in which a single-family home cannot be currently legally built on Lot 20, Lot 30, that corner lot. It would be a bit of a unique circumstance in which we are combining those lots for the purpose of developing them. All the other lots would be ample size to build on. The only question would be that Lot 56, Lot 56 that may have some constraints with the filling, so that may be the only other one that could come up. But all the other lots should be justifiable to be built on otherwise.
And I guess as a plan commissioner, I would agree with the logic. We'd have a very solid footing for differentiating based on what he mentioned. And 56 could be a municipal pool.
There's our pool. There you go, splash pad. Natural splash pad, even better.
Anybody else? Okay, we've got a motion on the floor. Call a vote. Those in favor would say aye. Aye. Opposed would be no. Hearing none, that passes. And we go to item 10, the director's report. Director Kivala.
Yeah, thank you. I want to give a kudos first and foremost to Karen, our new bid director. She is in the audience today, so if you have not met her, please try to catch her for a few minutes after the meeting and say hi. But she has done a fantastic job at picking up both bids so far. I know with that position being vacant for quite some time, there was quite a backlog and just kind of pent-up ambitions of getting things done. So she's been handling that quite well, so kudos to her. Karen, thank you for joining us here. Super happy to have you on board. Came up in the last conversation here, but we do have a total of 25 lots under contract. 21 lots have officially closed, and I guess 4 are pending. We did close on lots 21 and 23. That was on Friday. So those have now closed and are sold. The only other 2 that are still pending are the ones that were up for a decision here just before you, and then we'll go to council next. But great to see lots selling out there. We have not had much interest in the LOI. It was a shot that we were taking, but the developers that we were talking with are shying away for other reasons as well. So not that the LOI didn't necessarily work, just nobody is biting on that bait. But we're going to continue to leave it out there as an option and continue to talk to other developers and other interested parties about it, real estate agents, et cetera. Shopko site, so at the last RDA meeting, there were proposals brought forward by 3 different developers. The redevelopment authority did ask staff to proceed with one of those developers. They did have a few stipulations that they wanted added in. So staff has been working with that developer to try to get those to be added and pencil out. So more to come on that. We are hoping at having an RDA meeting mid-November, and we will most likely have a closed session item on this at the upcoming finance meeting. Other than that, I'll take any questions that you may have.
I would just note that the bid does have discussion tomorrow at its meeting about some of the residential development for the Shopko site, and I do believe that at least within that bid, the downtown stakeholders are an important group to engage. So,
yes, for sure. And when and where is that?
During the bid meeting
tomorrow.
There's a discussion topic that's been promoted by, I believe, by staff and by the chair to folks if they want to weigh in on that.
Awesome.
I just have a comment about the Forest Creek Subdivision. Actually, the trail along the little creek there, one of my neighbors has been walking through there and said it's really very nice.
Oh, good.
So kudos on whoever, kind of took care of that.
Mary, you could have taken all the credit. That was your time to shine.
No, they just really like it. They're walking down there almost on a daily basis now. They just go down the road and walk along the little creek, and they're really liking it. So
hey, it's a beautiful
getting nice
subdivision
out there on the east side. Getting nice out there. Good place to live. So with that, we are adjourned at 6:43.
A video of this meeting is available for viewing on the city's website, stevenspoint.com/videos.